but I do want.
Man, am I glad to have that knowledge in my head.
Okay, let me get the mouse. I need to cut his mic off real quick.
I got you.
I'm excited, man. I'm excited. All right. Today we have a very special guest with us. All right. We have a super talented singer, songwriter, actor, voiceover actor.
Yo.
And I think I'm going to like make him do some voices today because it's crazy. And a really, really good friend of mine. All right, we're going to talk about the story about how we met too. Mr. Quinton Sampson, everybody.
What's good? Hello. Thank you for having me.
Welcome to New Space.
Jeff, clap.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
All right, so one thing off the bat, if you got a Netflix account, go check out this show on Netflix called Sing On, right? It is the coolest singing show you've ever seen in your life. It's like technology and like singing prowess and skill in a very unique way. Like it's real, and I like it because it's so engaging in the sense that you feel like, yo, I could do that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It makes you feel like, yo, I could do that because this show. Should I, spoiler?
Go ahead.
So it has this thing. I don't know if you guys seen these apps or whatever, like singing apps that you on your phone, where
Simply.
you have to hit the note. Oh, there's this, that's on TikTok. There's a game.
It's like Guitar Hero for singing.
No. You know that thing, the do re mi fa sol la ti do, right? Where the ball moves up.
Yeah.
It's on TikTok right now. It's like that, but on steroids, like a whole singing show about that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But
So
that's
y'all
where
go
like
check
all
it
the
out.
new like to learn. That's how I'm working on piano right now. Is like an app called Simply Piano. It's like playing Guitar Hero because all the technology just listens.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a guitar one, piano one, singing one, and a drawing one.
It's the exact same technology.
It's like a game, and there's like you unlock songs, and then the songs are challenges, and you play along, and they get harder, and it's really
Oh,
cool.
that's cool.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. I'm gonna have to try it out.
Yeah, it's interesting because the real challenge, which people probably don't think about right off the gate, is that singers, especially artists or people that want to be singers, spend most of their time trying to be different. If they do a song, they want to sing it their way. They work on singing it their way so they don't sound like the original artist. They're working on their own, sounding original or being better or finding their voice or whatever. You got to kill all that noise for this type of show. It was wild. It was like unlearning everything.
And that's so crazy. You know why that's crazy, Jackson? Because we had a session yesterday. We're working on this really amazing original song. And he would give me like 10 variations of one line. Like, oh, that was dope. But do another one. He'll do it another way. Like, do another one. And he'll just keep going. The same line, the same lyric, the same 5 words.
Yeah.
So for somebody that's able to do that and has that mind for that, to be like, okay, you got it. If you don't sing it exactly like the actual master, the actual original recording, it doesn't matter how good your voice actually is. You're out.
Basically.
Wow.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Because the format was like, there's voting, and then if you're the highest accuracy, you're safe from being eliminated. Like nobody can vote you off. And then after the voting stopped, it was only accuracy. The lowest score automatically
Dang.
got knocked off.
So how long did this go on for?
We shot everything straight through. So we shot in London at the Pinewood Studios, where like 007, Star Wars, that kind of thing. They gave us time to like acclimate and rest and get adjusted to the time zone.
Change, yeah.
But then one shoot day, there was no breaks. There was no recuts or there was no let's do another take, nothing like that. There was no rehearsal. It was like, y'all, you stand here, this is your mic, this is your voting pad. we're going through these songs. And then, you know, of course, the other cool thing was, you know, when they got eliminated, they went up and sang background vocals.
That's neat. Somebody really sat down and used their brain on this
Yeah,
one.
that's a big brain
Especially to
stuff right
bust
there.
it out in a day.
Well, there's so many singing competition shows. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So people probably get jaded, you know.
That background vocal thing that's really cool. I like
Yeah.
that. That's
pretty cool.
crazy.
Yeah, man. So that's one cool thing about what you've done. But you've done some amazing things before that and since as well, right? Because correct me if I'm wrong. It came with a record deal, right? A record contract, or somebody kind of like came up to you after that, or
Well, it opened up those doors. Yeah, the conversations are way different now, you know.
Gotcha.
Because it's like it went from, oh, that's cool, you sing? Are you recording? What you doing with that? You know, to, oh, you sing. All of a sudden, I'm validated.
Hey, valid.
You know?
Blue check.
It's by the way, that also, it helped me get a blue check before you could before they changed what. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It was still, at the time, you had to have a certain amount of press releases, stuff like that, and you know, it represented a notable figure. Right. Now it just represents what
$16.99 a month,
an authentic presence.
$16.99.
They're charging for it.
Yeah. It's kind of genius though on the money side.
Of course, it's genius.
They're charging money. They got a.
Yeah.
It's like on a dating app. You're verified as a real human. That's more what it's like.
I'm not paying for mine.
Good.
They should make it a little different, like a darker shade of blue.
Grandfathered in. Yeah, they should. It shouldn't be the same. Yeah.
Pink. Neon green.
They brown. My favorite color when I was
just
like 5.
make them ugly.
Yeah, I know, right?
The less you pay, the uglier your check mark looks.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But okay, so yeah, let's jump over to some really cool, and then we can kind of move around from there. So you and I, we met how many years ago?
2019.
19?
South by
Southwest, Austin, Texas.
Mm-hmm. Before the shutdown.
Mm-hmm. It was the year before?
It was right before.
Okay,
it was probably
2019 South by Southwest.
Yeah.
Okay, and we met through. It was a bunch of artists that kind of like found their way to like a certain area, and then some artists was like, "We need to sing background with them." I'm not gonna say any names. And then
I have footage later if you need.
And then you were like, "Hey," and then like, you found out I played keys, and like, oh, why don't you play? Before you knew it, like we were on stage together in front of like 200-300 people, like going crazy.
No, seriously. I mean, I have again, like we don't have to talk about it now, but I do have footage from when we met, and it's like, literally, I was asked to just come out and sing something. And mind you, that's what I did. I didn't have any words. I didn't have a song. You know, I said, "Can you just play a chord progression?"
Yeah.
And he did.
Yeah.
And I came out and did my oohs and ahs, and there were screams.
Yeah.
And then I did nothing. And then, I calmed down. But it was dope. It was funny. Like we just.
But that's how we met, and we're here today. So
yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Wow, that is cool.
It was a dope first impression. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna NGL.
Yeah. So let's talk about some music. So this is a New Space podcast where we talk about the ups and downs of being in the music industry from the perspective of mix engineers and producers that you work with every day.
Okay.
All right. So Jackson is an amazing music producer and mix engineer, as am I. So we have a lot in common because of that, and we work with artists like you all the time, who some people are trying to find their sound. Some people are trying to figure, what kind of microphone works for me. Some are trying to figure out like, what kind of producer do I need, or just resources, right? So let's talk about some of those things. Did you always, have you done more studio recording stuff, or have you been more of a DIY, record yourself, send it off to get mixed? Do you mix? What's your experience with that?
Which one you want me to answer first?
Anyone you feel like?
Yeah, I've been in a lot of studios. I've done, and like, so there's a term in the South that we call getting it.
Okay.
You don't know how to get it if you ain't really grinded, if you ain't been getting it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And it covers a scope of like the energy of the grind and what you're willing to do, and how bad you want it or whatever. And I remember times where I was recording on those little old laptop mics and stuff that sound terrible, and then processing them to Kingdom Come. You know what I mean? And then and pushing those things and getting shows, big shows, 25,000 Kwanzaa Fest. You know what I'm saying? And then now it's just interesting to think about now, because I think my first condenser mic I bought was a Bluebird, and I fell in love with that mic because that was one of the mics that I used mainly when I was in school. I went to the school of Media Tech out here in Irving, Dallas. And it's in terms of a vocal mic or for to pick up.
Sorry, before you go on, Media Tech. So, music school, you pay for it. In short answers possible, was it worth it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. For me, because I wasn't looking to be an engineer or a producer per se, but I wanted to be able, as an artist, to communicate and help the process be fluid. I think every singer, every artist, every performer needs technical skills, because if you don't learn that way, you're going to find out the hard way. You'll be like deer in the headlights when the lights come on, when the mics come on, when the monitors. If you don't know how to communicate your monitor level, you know what I mean? Or what's the importance of a tech rehearsal? So for me, that was big, because I got to try all of these scenarios in a controlled environment. Different types. I got to see what it felt like to use an analog mixer versus a digital one or combo. I got to try all these different mics that I didn't have to buy, or definitely couldn't afford at the time. So, and test other people's voices, stuff like that. So that helped me get a huge understanding of what I didn't know that I didn't know.
That's good.
So yes, 100%, it was worth it.
Beautiful. Going a slightly different direction. So like growing up, before all the social media stuff happened, I feel like a lot of people thought the only way to make it in the music industry was through like a TV show, like winning American Idol or something like that.
Yeah.
What do you say to the people that still think that, even though you did, was that like something you had in your mind coming up? Did you ever imagine yourself like pursuing that? How much did it help? I know you touched on that a little bit.
I don't know if I wanted to do a TV show, which is really interesting, because that's true. A lot of people think they need to get on a show or they need to have a hit record, which,
helps.
A hit record helps.
Yeah,
Don't get it twisted. But I think finding a way in that makes sense. What are you doing? What are you trying to do in industry? Do you want people to know you for your voice? Because if you want people to know you for your voice, then it would help you to do a show or do commercials, things that are on bigger projects, marketing budget, and production budget, so that you're able to have examples that you're out working. Because when people can see that you're working and you're part of productions, they take you more seriously. And so for me, even just promoting myself independently as an artist, yes, getting a show like that where it's a Netflix original, which to me means it's guaranteed a certain amount of time on their platform, just being that, and coming from a world where I'm marketing myself, I'm doing my own Facebook ads to push my music and stuff like that. I'm seeing the value in this piece that I can send a link.
Right. That's actually really smart.
So, I don't know why I didn't know at the time, because they were very secretive about it until we got there. There was being on what they were telling us is like, they didn't tell us it was Netflix. They were saying it's the world's largest streaming platform. I'm like, what was that? Is it
weird.
YouTube? Like it just didn't connect. But you know, and I got the spread.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like they gave me a PR, like a preparation packet basically, and it was telling, you know, it told us where it was going to be released, that it was a worldwide release. It's going to be in over 200 countries, and then there was a section that talked about fan interaction.
Okay.
What type of, I don't know if I should be saying this, but I'm saying it anyway. What type of like interaction you may get? People may try to hit you up for money, sob stories, and they did. Like I had people sending me pictures of terrible living circumstances and asking for me to save them or put them through college or all. I'm not making this up, you know.
That's crazy.
And that was, you know, but it didn't shock me.
Because they warned you.
Yeah.
And, you know,
Yeah.
Scammer.
But that's crazy. People, yeah, it's like when you kind of win in the public's eye like that. Like lottery winners have it really bad.
because, you know, all anybody knows that doesn't know anything about the industry, when they see you on a platform like that, they're just, oh, you made it. You know,
Yeah.
that's what they think.
Mhm.
You know, you're automatically rich.
Yeah.
You're automatically have power. You must have a huge house, and you must have, you know, all these cars. You can afford. You can put me through college. You know, you can buy me a house. You don't know me, but you should buy me a house.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That doesn't make any sense.
So that's one of the more, I think, you know, that's a side that I don't think people talk about.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody wants to talk about that. Like, yeah.
And it's like, you know,
Media, who's going to cover it?
I think that people get really excited about the idea of being famous,
Yeah.
you know, and they don't really understand what that comes with.
But I'm pretty sure, like, celebrities and artists and singers that we know, they go through that all day, every day.
Yes, 100%.
That's
Which is
crazy.
why, you know, you know, people will negatively talk about people and say they're, you know, an asshole or whatever because they don't like to talk to people or whatever. But if you're nervous about the approaches that are
Yeah.
coming, you know, you may not want to engage. You may not want to make eye contact.
Mhm.
You may just want to buy an energy drink from the store.
I agree with that. But Dr. Phil was saying when you pursue a career that's in the public eye, it's like unfortunately you're on the clock. If you walk out of your house, you're on the clock.
100%
Yeah.
That's
agree.
what Mike Tyson said too.
100%
I think
agree.
that was him. He says, when I go out, the reason I can't be angry about it is because I signed up for this.
You're choosing
Yeah.
Yeah.
that life.
I agree.
You're choosing
Yeah.
that life.
There are billionaires that you would walk past on the street and I know, but they pay a lot of money to keep to be able to have that type of
Mhm.
privacy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's value in that.
Mhm.
Absolutely. I want to ask you a question,
Okay.
and it's something that me and Jackson talked about a bunch, and we believe in independent artists and what it takes to be noticed and potentially be able to have success. If you were going to summarize it in the short little bit, what would you say? You had 20 independent indie artists, you know, with keen eyes and their phone and their note app, right? Want to take down everything you're saying, they're going to do it over the next 6 months. What would you tell them?
And if you mess this up, their blood is on your hands.
Your hands, buddy.
You need to know what you're going to do, what you want to do, because in order to become good enough to, you know, you're going to have to want to be consistent to be good enough to make that thing something that's able to be sold, monetized. Someone wants to put a camera and a mic on it.
Mhm.
So it has to be something that, you know, an analogy would be, if you know you want to be a doctor, you're committing to a lot of school
Mhm.
and probably a lot of networking and a lot of butt kissing and, you know, just so if you want to be, you know, whatever it is you're choosing to do, that thing has to have enough interest for you to want to invest time, energy, and even, you know, seeing what your competition is and finding out a way to mold that thing into something that seems or is perceived as something that's specific to you. There's 1,000 people that do what you want to do, more than that, in any given time. You know what I mean? So how can you get people that are paying attention to you to be interested in you doing it?
So
Yeah.
So what's a practical, say, like 5 things that you say, that would apply to all 20 people sitting in front of us?
This doesn't sound cliche. Find your niche.
Okay.
I think that that's very broad, though, and a lot of people are like, well, how do you do that? Look at yourself, listen to yourself, and think about it objectively, and then work on that. The best way I would say it was be as much of you as you possibly can. That's the shortest way I can put that.
Which means you probably need to spend more time with you. Like we talked about with one of our previous guests, Sahid. Remember, that's what this whole thing was about, was like finding that niche and finding who you are.
Yes.
And a lot of times, like with our phones and stuff, if you're not sitting alone in your own thoughts and like you're on your phone, somebody is controlling your thoughts, like pulling them down certain paths. And same thing with the music we listen to. So
when you're a public figure, you're not just I'm a singer, right? I'm not just a singer. I'm a personality.
Yeah.
People are not just coming to find my voice. They're wanting to see me do that. See me singing. So however they're perceiving me, that's something that you have to think about. You are a whole experience.
yeah, the 4D version.
And that's you have to that's why I was saying be as you possibly can. That means like even defining, making sure that you know what your values are, so that if you start getting success and you start going on interviews, you know how you're going to respond to certain stuff or not. You have to know your values.
Yeah.
You have to know what you stand for. You have to know what you don't want people to see. When I did the Netflix show, they did a 10-year background check, social media background check on me to see what I've been talking about. I'm not playing.
Wow.
10 years.
10 years.
Dang, I'd be done for. I was 14,
That's crazy.
saying some wild things.
And they found it. They found like 5 things over that span. They was like, I need you to delete this. Okay. But for me, it validated something that I thought I was doing that people were saying I didn't need to do, which was watch how I put myself out there. Because social media, to me, especially being on it that long, was like, it's no different really than putting yourself on a television show or anything like that, because anybody can find it.
Yeah.
And so I was trying my best to be as careful as I could. And, there's other people that haven't, put that effort in that don't get those opportunities. But it's like, if your goal is to be on Zeus Network, okay. But if you want to do Disney or something where a perception of what's happening is supposed to be safe to whatever their
audiences.
Yeah. Then you have to think about that. Who are you planning on trying? What are your goals? How successful do you want to be? And then that goes into you can't craft something that's not real. That's why I was saying be as you possibly can, because if you try to craft what you think should be done, you're not going to be able to be consistent.
You're not going to come off as authentic anyway.
Exactly.
People
can tell.
Right through. Yeah, exactly.
People can tell.
People can tell.
Yeah. So as far as like finding the niche and as far as the sound of the music, what are some practical like exercises, just time alone, just experimenting, seeing what you actually like when not affected by what you hear from other artists? What does that look like? Because don't we form our own musical taste and like what we want to create based off what we've experienced? If you never heard music ever in your entire life, do you think you could make music?
No.
Do you think it would just never be a thought?
No, because like one of the questions I used to get asked a lot, which I hated, was who are your influences? I didn't understand why I was being asked that.
Yeah.
But now I understand. People are trying to figure out how to understand you or perceive you. Once they hear, listen to, if I say I listen to, or one of my influences, Sam Smith. Well, I could see that. All of a sudden it makes sense.
Yeah.
So they're looking for a way to.
Oh, it really is. By the way,
What?
that's one of his influences. Like, dude, I mean, like, he can do all that stuff. Like, for
All
real.
that?
And so
Yeah.
on that note,
No pun intended.
not. Just because you can do a lot doesn't mean you should.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you shouldn't, but it can be hard for people to grasp. I had someone ask me, they said, so what do you do? I know you like sing and stuff, but like, what do you do? And I was dumbfounded at that question.
Yeah.
I didn't understand what, but they didn't quite get me yet.
Mhm.
And so for me, I would say I'm still figuring it out, but at the same time, I feel like I'm finally getting a grasp on it. And the thing that has changed is I started listening to what people said they liked, what they were excited about. You know, when I did the show, one of the most requested songs was that people have been asking me to cover. The most requested song was All of Me.
Yeah.
And I was like, why? And then I started thinking about it objectively, and I listened to John Legend's tone and how he sung the song. I listened to what's being talked about, you know, what range it was in, those kinds of things. That for me helped me understand, oh, you like when I sound like this. You like when I'm not James Brown in your ear. You know, you like when, you know, I'm able to sort of soothe or, crooning, whatever, that kind of thing. Like it's like Sam Smith or Frank Sinatra or
John Legend.
John Legend, yeah.
Yeah.
But I can sing. I'm classically trained. I can do even operatic type stuff. I can do.
Can we get a sample?
Rocks type stuff.
All right.
Sample of what?
Classical.
Der Geist hilft der Geist, hilf uns Schwachheiter. That's a
Is that
UIL
Russian?
piece. That's
German?
German. Yes.
Close. That was closer than I
Yeah.
guessed.
Okay.
Or hey, do it now. Yeah, yeah. Bow, bow, bow. Well, I was a boogie singer
Ooh, I like
playing in a rock and roll band. It's a whole different style.
All right. Hey, so do some Broadway.
Ooh. Name a musical.
Cats. That's the first thing that came to
Oh, memory, it's so easy to leave me all alone with the memory of my days in the sun. I used to sing that in falsetto when I was a kid at the piano.
my- Nice. Hey.
Bye.
That was dope. So I could see and understand why for someone like you it'd be hard to figure that out because you have such a rich background. So like,
And then I'm
you know,
wanting to give it all at the same time.
yeah,
That's impossible.
It's impossible.
People feel overwhelmed.
Yeah.
What do you?
Michael Jackson, right?
Yes, but there were each thing that Michael Jackson did, you could get like he did his rock thing. He did. That's why they call him King of Pop.
But he was still
R&B.
He still
smooth.
did him. Like,
Yeah.
whether it was Man in the Mirror or Bad or Thriller, it all still sounded like this one cohesive sound. Like, still Michael Jackson.
You know Michael.
You know
You
what I'm
know
saying?
MJ's voice.
You know, Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
She's Swift.
But you kind of need that, like, people's opinion to help guide you towards that, to really pinpoint and gas you up in a direction. Because just going like, it's random, but if you're getting chased by an alligator, you're supposed to run like this.
Yeah, it's exactly. Which is true. Like, and people will say, don't listen to people's opinions, but you need to know what people are hearing, what they're perceiving, because everybody can't be a musical genius to get
Yeah.
this thing that you're trying to sell.
I think you should listen to people's opinions. Don't listen to people's criticism.
Yeah, absolutely. Like,
Yeah.
or just listen to what they're. If you listen, they'll tell you what they like, just by.
And who has your money?
Yeah. It's kind of like, people, like when you do ads, they do this A/B thing. Like, you try this, you try that. Which one's going to stick, right?
Mhm.
I feel like, because at the end of the day, yeah, I know we're artists. All you guys watching, yeah, you're a singer, you're a musician, and all that, and you have your art, and it's unique to you, and you want to do you.
Yeah.
You want to do anybody else. Do you want to be market able or not?
Yeah, you have to find a way to bring your uniqueness
Yes.
to whatever it
package
is that you're doing.
Yeah.
And do it in a way that is easily digestible.
Look at the completely random, but I've been on this whole thing. Like the Cybertruck. People hate the Cybertruck because it's Elon Musk's like childhood fantasy almost. If you read up on it, right? And it's just like it's been beating the crap, all over social media and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
But everything else he's done, he's followed like his thing, which is like he wanted to do the electric car thing and simplistic but very reliable cars, which is what everybody wants. Everybody wants a car like Kia. The reason why Kia is so big now is because they're the first car and still the only car company until Tesla to do 10-year, 100,000 miles. Nobody else is doing that. So like, I guess we'll check them out. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So like as an artist, like what are you doing? What are you putting in front of your customer to be like, oh, okay, yeah, you know what? I'll check you out. Because people work hard for their money, man.
They do.
People, everybody knows, whether it's, consciously or intuitively or just in the back of their mind, that they'll only have so much time. So if they're going to listen to your music on Spotify, like, is it worth my time?
Yes. Is it worth
You know what I'm saying?
time?
They could rather be spending time with their friends or listen to the New Space podcast, you know what I'm saying? Instead of like listen to your music. So is it worth it for them? So yeah, you have to do diligence, blah, 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 in that space to be like, hey, okay, this is my thing, but I have to do something that is going to be like, hey, come check it out. And I think that's what you're saying.
It is what I'm saying.
It's clicking for me right now. I'm with that.
Yeah. Well, and especially with the music, it's like everybody is doing it. So annoying. And we were actually talking on the phone about how like there's people doing it just for fun.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Watering down the market. And then there's people like out here, yo, I'm trying to pay my bills.
Yeah.
Get out of the way.
Because nobody's like, hey, on the weekends, I like to, operate on people for fun. Like,
because you look at it different when you're wanting it to be a business.
Yeah.
When you want to make money off of it, you have to look at it different.
But that's what we're saying is the messed up part.
Yeah.
Is that because it's so accessible to everybody.
And everybody's doing it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, not everybody can build a house. Not everybody can do a lot of different things. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people can be like, go to Sweetwater and buy $300 interface, a $100 mic, and a subscription to a DAW. And all of a sudden, I'm a producer and I'm a sing-songwriter and I'm a this or whatever. You know what I mean? And they just put it out there, just keep throwing it out there. Studio One now, my DAW of choice, is directly linked with SoundCloud. As soon as you finish your song, you just push one button and it's on SoundCloud. You don't have to go to their website. FL has which one? TuneCore, right? FL has TuneCore, I believe.
I was like, I didn't know they were.
Yeah, they're trying to make it as streamlined, and they're just trying to get. Oh, it's crazy. They're trying to get. It's like the gold rush. They're trying to give as many people shovels as possible.
Yeah.
And there's just
like that.
They're just selling the shovels like, oh, you
really
need one, you need one.
analogy.
Look.
That's great, yeah.
Oh, we got this new
Gold
electric
Rush,
one. It
they
digs
just want
for
to
you.
give everybody a shovel.
Yeah, you just push a
Dang,
button
that's
and it
good.
goes. It's like an electric lawnmower. It'll go. You just go back inside.
Jackson, that might be your
Thing.
best analogy ever since we met.
I'm
proud of you, man.
Thanks, dude. I mean, the
Yeah.
shovel, it's not completely original.
Yeah.
He
It's
really
not?
liked when I. No, I said it early. I said it on a previous episode
I didn't. You
that
did?
like the smart people in the gold rush sold shovels and not.
Oh, no, well, you use it like an analogy.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm still proud of
Yeah.
you, though. That was good.
Thanks, dude.
Anyway. But, okay, so that's really cool. So let's talk about something. We did an episode with Kia LeBlanc. Check out the episode, guys. She's an awesome singer out of Nashville. We didn't do one with Kia. We did that with Adora.
What did we do?
Her gear.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, Adora prides herself on being able to record herself and do a pretty good job of it.
Okay.
Also, Adora's latest single as of today, what's today? October 9th. I did all the post production on it. Y'all please check it out. It's called Juice by Adora. Link down below. But or not, since anyway. But she has her own, like DAW that she prefers, microphone, interface, all that stuff. So we want to get, what is your workflow like? What DAW do you use? What microphones do you use? What microphone or microphones do you use? Especially since you went to MediaTek, you've used like extremely expensive microphones. You worked on extremely expensive consoles. So, as an independent artist, like, what have you done? What are you doing in that space?
So for me, ideally, I'd be in a situation where, I'd be in a situation where I'm at a studio, somebody else's studio,
Okay.
And I'm working with an engineer and a producer. No, they're not the same thing. And I'm able to have that team effort. Now, the flip side of that, I would say, is akin to why all these major artists put big studios in their house. When inspiration strikes, you want to be able to get that. And so for me, I'm not focused on any mastering, mixing, any of that. I want to be able to get really good quality vocals tracked. If I have an idea that hits and I just want even just get the essence of it or whatever the case is, then I want to be able to go lay something. And if it's good enough to be used, then I want the engineer that I'm talking to be able to use those vocals. Like we got to retrack everything. What if I laid all the background ideas down? And, some of my vocals have over 100. Some of my songs have over 100 tracks in them. It's wild how many background
Just vocals?
Yes. Vocals.
Wow. That's crazy.
Building out. But so I prefer, sometimes I use a dynamic mic. I have I feel like if I say it, people are going to start getting it. I have a limited edition, Shure Unidyne. I'm not going to say the model number.
Okay.
And I like that a lot. It's warmer. I perform with it and I record with it. It's crazy.
Bro, bless the people, man. What's the microphone, bro?
It's a 5575 LE.
5575.
We're buying every one of you a brand new one. Click the link down below.
Oh, heck no.
Just kidding. Sorry.
I still have my blue.
Okay.
Even the cables, like I'm specific about the cables. I use Mogami cables.
Yeah, same
for the
here.
connectivity. I, thanks to Ife, was introduced to the original version of the Townsend.
Yeah, L22.
Mm-hmm. So we know UAD bought it out and rebranded it, but I have the Townsend version, which it was crazy because for me, I've always wanted a Sony.
Yeah.
C800G.
Yep.
Yeah.
And if I can not spend $10,000 for that sound,
yeah,
and so that's for me my most used if I want like really good quality.
Can I be honest with you? So I introduced you to that mic. Yes.
No, you don't use it anymore. I
don't use it anymore.
Yeah.
I got rid of it because I realized that it's just as any other mic as far as if it was going to work for any singer or not. I remember the sessions that we did. You sounded amazing, bro. But it wasn't the microphone.
Not only, no.
It was
it's
you.
Never. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So that microphone really shined on his vocals.
But if I sang on
I'm pretty sure when we listen to this podcast, this what's this microphone called?
SM7B.
That's not it. Oh, that's the SM7B. We were using the other one.
It's the Michael Jackson mic, right?
SM7B. Yeah, I'm sure it's going to sound amazing.
No, it
on
would.
you.
It would. It would. But
You know?
so I think mic choice does play a part
Mm-hmm.
in it. You know what I mean? You know, if I recorded on a E85, you probably wouldn't like it. It's a performance mic.
That's a Sennheiser, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's rugged. It's rugged.
Yeah.
You know? But it might not feel as well. And to me, what I notice about mics, and if you know, some people have choices for running through certain channel strips and stuff like that, there's an audible difference in the feeling that you might get. People may not know it. People may not be able to say, I know what that is.
Yeah.
But that's what it is. You know, if you just decide to get a SSL 2 Plus, you know, so that you can have the interface.
4K.
Yeah, 4K saturation on that, you know, or whatever the case is. That might be something, you know, I got to hear when I was in school the difference between running through an SSL board channel and just for the preamp and you like a Yamaha digital, like DM, I think it was DM 2000, something like that. And so, you know, I didn't really understand until I started hearing it. And, you know, at first, without being in those situations where I was able to be a part of the process and hear the differences with these setups and understanding what was happening with the signal path, then my ear wouldn't have been tuned to hear that. My professor, so I went to more than media tech. I also did audio recording technology at Houston Community College.
Okay.
And my professor gave like an opening speech, and he apologized. He said, I apologize because I'm about to ruin music for you, or whatever the case was. And part of that speech led to, you have to keep your ears as if they're like one of your most valuable, like you bought a Mercedes or something, or you bought something that you want to last a long time. The way you hear me, where you walk into clubs, you need to have like it's plugs in your pocket and stuff like that. And so I have been doing that for a long time, and so I've literally been training my ears since then. But I didn't do that before. I didn't feel like there was a need to. I just heard music and I enjoyed music. But when I started listening to it objectively, starting to think about the technical side, how can you capture the performance of me if I'm singing really quiet and I want you to hear the sounds that I'm making with my breath, with my consonants, the way I'm performing that. Michael Jackson was really good at that. We talked about it. It's like that's going to take a different type of attention all through the audio path, equipment choice, how you're using it. It's really not about just the equipment, you know. So I don't do much on, like when it comes to me tracking myself, I pick a whatever good mic I can use. I usually go through an Apollo.
Okay.
And I'll use some compression sometimes on the chain. I might use something that had, depending on the environment, I might have a gate, you know. I put like a whole channel strip on the pre. But I don't do much more than that. You know, any effects that I may add may be just to get the concept of what I'm doing or the feel of what I'm doing, so I can send it to somebody. But I'm not recording. I'm not printing those things.
You know something that just occurred to me, epiphany. For those of you who didn't get the opportunity to go to audio recording, you know, school like Quinton, didn't get to go to media tech, which I've been to several times. It's literally a world-class studio over there, right? And you're like, some of the things that he's saying is just going over your head, boom, boom, boom. Go find producers and mix engineers like Jackson and I.
Yes.
Not just this is not a shameless plug or whatever. I'm saying is that when you go to a studio, you're paying for the time. You're not just paying to be in front of the microphone or be in the room. You're paying for everything, including all the information.
Yep.
Talk to the engineer.
It's real
all the
experience
years
right there.
that engineers put into it,
Yeah.
condensed
Yep.
down
Ask
into the couple
questions.
hours you're there.
Ask, hey, look, this is a dope setup. While he's setting up, like, man, I got a similar mic, and I live in this is my environment right now. What do you think I should do for my particular space? Or can we try different microphones so I know which one to buy? Instead of you going to Sweetwater and buying one, returning it, buying one, returning it, that's stressful. Like if that studio has a couple of mics, let's find the one that works for me. So like if you're paying, $100 for studio time, if you spend half of that, $50 to try out some really, really good microphones, and it helps you narrow down what's best for you, and then you're having conversation in your session, and you're first of all you're building rapport with your engineer and producer or your engineer, and you're also learning things. Right? I heard someone on this podcast, New Space. Have you heard of it? Man, like they were talking about this. Like what do you think about that? Oh really? Oh yeah. Oh, this is what they really meant. Or you should probably think about it this way or that way. Get value out of it. It's your time. You've paid for it.
Yeah, and that's
any engineer that doesn't want to answer your questions or feel like, oh no, we're here to record, that's a red flag.
Yeah.
Get your behind out of there. Go find somebody else.
Yeah, no, seriously. You're right, like 100%. No lies detected.
Yeah.
Because you can tell. You can tell when someone hasn't been doing that or hasn't been recording or don't really understand what's going on. If I see, I'm not going to say his name, but I was working with a rapper. And he's a fast rapper. Okay? And he comes in really lit. So his words are slurring. How can you expect us to hear the lyrics that you're saying if you can't say them? And on top of that, you're leaning so hard that your back here from the mic. So the engineer that's trying to get you to sound good is going to have to bring everything up, everything that he doesn't want.
Including the room.
All his chains clunking up.
How do you get to the point where you would know that would even be something to
consider?
You need technical skills. And you can get that easily by putting yourself in real situations where you can learn.
Yeah. And you can just hear it on like a lot of the like charting rap songs specifically, like the amount of noise and just crazy stuff you hear in the recordings. It's amazing.
For like 2 days and they're going off the charts.
It's crazy.
Hey, you know what? I just thought about something too. Like you keep saying technical skills. I totally agree with that because artists, musicians, they just want to like kind of like just do it. Even though people that want to do YouTube or videos or thing like that, nobody's questioning the fact that they have to learn how to use an editor. Whether it's even CapCut or Premiere or whatever, they're learning it because this is what I need to do this thing, and they're learning all this stuff. But somehow, when it comes to the music, they just want to do the singing part, or like not really kind of like
be ignorant of the process.
But
they have goals that need them to have technical skills.
They need to have technical skills, So people, man, like develop your skills, like for real.
Like if you want to do big stage productions, if you want to be on huge productions that may play 3 nights a week, I did something called Motown a few years ago, Dancing in the Street, and it's at the Miller Outdoor Theater. We had 4 days of tech rehearsal. 4 days.
Wow.
That down, and I'm paying attention because I'm interested. But and while we've been rehearsing for 3 months. We're only gonna do it for a few nights, right? We're rehearsing for 3 months, and then we have all these days of technical rehearsal. They're rehearsing because they have a symphony in. They have background. They are labeling all of the mics, everybody's mic. They want the settings for everyone to be a certain way.
For every particular song.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. They're rehearsing the lights. They're rehearsing the smoke. They're rehearsing everything. And even down to like if they're using stage monitors, they're rehearsing that, like, and they know that when this person comes and they're going to stand right here, they're rehearsing choreography. And if there's cameras involved, they're rehearsing cameras. You know what I mean? Now, if you're not ready to perceive any of that, when all that stuff starts going on, you're going to be sweating bullets, and you're going to look like you might go blank.
Ooh.
That's
Hate
why people
going
go
blank.
blank.
Because
It's
it's a
cool though.
lot.
It's the package. Just
a
like
lot.
your ability to sing, your personality. That's the first little package, and then your talent, your technical skills, and the team around you. It's another little package, and it just grows and grows.
Look, I ain't gonna cap. You know, when I did Sing On, I was looking at where the cameras were. You know, and I realized, okay, I'm seeing. I can see some of the monitors too. So I saw how tight some of the shots were. I was like, okay, I can't do some of the things that I was thinking about doing, but I can make it. I took acting class as well. That learning how to act on camera is different than doing theater. Theater's bigger. A lot of times you need to project so people can hear you in the back. They may not have you mic'd a certain way for theater, but when you're doing film, the shot might be
Tight.
or even tighter, and you're making this intense. You're wanting to show anger, but not move so much off camera. So you have to like take your feelings and make them filmable, which is
That's deep.
it's tough,
I get it.
but it helps. And so it's the same thing, because you are, as a performer, as a singer, as a rapper, you're an actor. You have to look interesting doing what you're doing. You have to be perceived as being full of emotion. Not, oh, you sound good. I used to sing with a straight face. And I remember singing in front of a potential manager, and he was like, you sound good. I'm just not feeling it. And I didn't understand what he was talking about
Yeah.
until years later. It was like, oh,
He was right.
the way you look has to be felt, and the way you sound has to be felt, even if you're rapping. You can't just have dope lyrics. You need to know how to do a voice inflection. You need to know how to not sound monotone. That means you probably should take some vocal coaching. We get off my soapbox here.
All right.
Zam.
No, that was good. Good stuff, man.
Said it.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to ask Quinton that you want to know? We learned a lot of cool.
My knowledge tank is filled.
One more thing I think that I want to ask you, like, I guess I just want to say this. It's been an absolute pleasure working with you.
Man.
We're working on this.
Amazing song.
Yeah. And even the other ones that we did like this one record that we saw, like, man, this thing could be in like Cars 4, like, like Pixar movie type of thing. Remember, yeah, that one. And like we haven't spent a lot. This is the most amount of time we spent together, and we got this crazy song and another one that we already started. Like, it's easy to write with you. It's easy to work with you. Now I'm understanding why. You know what I'm saying?
And conveniently, you guys are about to do a cover, right? Which will insert clip here
Yes.
somewhere.
Y'all enjoy.
Cause I give you all of me.
Can I give you your flowers real quick, man?
Oh,
Do you mind?
please.
Okay. And this is also a sidebar for aspiring producers. Producers are not button pushers. Producers are not just recording. They're not just good at tracking or mixing. That's truly an engineer's job. Producers have multiple skills that they're using at the same time. So when I'm working with Ife, first of all, one of the songs we're working on, we wrote at the piano. Okay?
Yeah.
We didn't have a track. Ife started playing a chord progression that felt good. And when I say felt good, it wasn't just playing chords. It's how he was playing the chords. And sung an idea to me. Can you imagine a producer singing? But are you working with singers? Wouldn't it be easier if you can sing the idea to them?
There
Sing
you
the
go.
feel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why, I'm not going to spend too much time there, but my point is that there's like we have a producer, piano player, songwriter, singer, engineer. All those hats are being worn at the same time, and I'm not even saying all of them. You know what I mean?
I appreciate
But
it.
that's, you're looking at people, like if you're aspiring producer, you're looking at successful producers, look at what they do. Look at what they can do. When I met Ife on stage at South by Southwest, and he was playing the piano, and we didn't even have a rehearsed song.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah. Yay.
Beautiful.